In Islamic belief, what you are observing in the world, war, deception, injustice, and the manipulation of people by those in power, is not unexpected. The Quran explicitly addresses these patterns as recurring realities of human history, not anomalies unique to our time. Corruption and war are recurrent human conditions. The Quran makes clear that conflict and bloodshed are part of humanity's historical cycle when moral restraint is abandoned. And when it is said to them, "Do not cause corruption on the earth," they say, "We are but reformers." Unquestionably, it is they who are the corruptors, but they perceive it not. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:11-12. This directly reflects modern situations where wars are justified as security, freedom, or peacekeeping, while the outcomes are mass suffering and destruction, lies, propaganda, and deception by those in power. The Quran repeatedly warns that authority figures often rely on deception to maintain control. And do not mix the truth with falsehood, or conceal the truth while you know it. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:2. And they wish to extinguish the light of Allah with their mouths, but Allah will perfect His light, even if the disbelievers dislike it. Surah As-Saf 61:8. This applies to propaganda, selective narratives, misinformation, and media manipulation used to manufacture consent and spread hatred. Leaders spreading hate and division. The Quran describes how unjust leaders divide people to rule them. Indeed, Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and made its people into factions, oppressing a sector among them. Surah Al-Qasas 28:4. This is a timeless tactic. Create enemies, fuel fear, divide societies along racial, religious, or political lines. So people fight each other instead of questioning authority. Moral decline and the normalization of evil. Another Quranic pattern is when wrongdoing becomes normalized. Evil has appeared on land and sea because of what the hands of people have earned, so He may let them taste part of what they have done. Surah Ar-Rum 30:41. This verse explains global instability not merely as geopolitics, but as a moral consequence, when injustice, greed, and arrogance dominate. Truth will always be opposed. The Quran reminds believers that truth has always been resisted by powerful elites. And similarly, we did not send before you any warner into a city, except that its affluent said, "Indeed, we found our fathers upon a religion, and we are following in their footsteps." Surah Az-Zukhruf 43:23. This applies equally to ideological systems, nationalism, and political dogma today. A test, not a surprise. Islam teaches that these conditions are a test, not a failure of divine justice. Do the people think that they will be left to say, "We believe," and they will not be tested? Surah Al-Ankabut 29:2. Believers are not asked to be blind to injustice, but to respond with truth, ethics, patience, and principled action. The Quranic response to a corrupt world. The Quran does not call for despair. It calls for critical thinking, justice, rejecting hatred, and patience with awareness. In summary, yes, what is happening today aligns precisely with patterns the Quran described in 400 plus years ago. Wars justified by lies, leaders spreading fear and hate, truth being obscured by propaganda, and moral decay presented as progress. The Quran does not predict dates or nations. It exposes human behavior. That is why it remains relevant in every era.